everybody and welcome to FabTax. I'm Rosemary, and in today's video I have part 2 of my outdoor decor makeover series, Spring and Summer Porch. This video is also a collaboration with Teresa from Our Green Acres. If you're not familiar with the Our Green Acres channel, you definitely want to check it out. Teresa and her husband Ben started the channel about a year ago when they moved from the city to the country to chronicle their experiences. Teresa makes beautiful shabby chic farmhouse and French country decor using dollar store and trash to treasure materials, while Ben gives insights into country life as well as all of his cool machinery and gear. Teresa will also be doing a porch makeover video, and I will provide a link to both the video and the channel in the description box below. But for now, let's jump into part 2 of my makeover series, Spring Summer Porch. As you can see, we have a small porch. It's kind of more like an entryway than a porch, but I do have space for a couple of things. So I have this plant stand from Aldi that I picked up a few years back, and then this bench that I actually purchased about 12 years ago, and it's holding in there pretty good. I give it a fresh coat of paint every couple of years. However, I think I might have skipped last year because it's looking pretty bad. So I'm going to have to sand that down a little and then go ahead with this fresh coat of spray paint. And then I will do the same for the plant stand, which is also starting to show a little wear. The other thing I'd like to freshen up is this welcome mat. Now you can see it is a little worse for wear, and I'm going to try to give it a little treatment and try to freshen it up a bit. And then I'm going to clean the porch, all this debris that kind of gets blown around and gets stuck in all the nooks and crannies and along the pieces of the stone. And if you're wondering what these little screws are sticking out, these are actually for hurricane shutters. But I think that we didn't install them all the way. I think it's supposed to have a little thing that covers them so they're not so ghastly looking. But I'm going to go ahead then and take these two items out for a coat of spray paint and then clean the porch area with this cleaner just attached to my hose. Now, if you've been following the last couple videos, you know that I've been making a bunch of items to do these makeovers with. And so one of the items I made was this planter out of a cat litter box. But then I decided that I wanted to make one in this pretty blue color. It's called Blue Juniper, and it's from Kills. And so I'm going to make another one in that color. But I didn't have any more of the dollar store yo-yos to make the feet to the container. So I found these little rubber stoppers, and I'm going to use those instead. And here is the container after I've painted it blue and removed the handle. And now I'm going to just use some E6000 to attach the little feet. And now onto the mat. So what I did was I took some of this brown multi-surface paint and some of this yellow paint, and then I'm going to mix the two together to come up to a color that is close to the main color of this mat. And then once I get it nice and mixed, I'm also going to add some water to thin it, because I really want this to just be more like a stain than an actual paint. Then I applied the stain to the mat with a foam stencil brush. I went in along the edges first because I wanted to make sure that's where really the wear and tear was, and then went over the top surface of the mat. And I was getting some paint there in the black spot, but that's fine because I'll be going over that with some black paint when I'm done doing the surface paint. I then switched to a larger foam stencil brush because it was just getting too hard with that little thing. And the little one I got from Michael's in a pack of a bunch of different foam brushes. And then this big one I actually got from Dollar Tree. I think it comes a pack of two different sizes. And you can see how that stain is just really bringing the color back to life, freshening that color. And because it is so thin, it is allowing for the print that was on the mat. It was kind of like I don't know what that is, like an alligator print or something like that, that was on the original mat. So it's still allowing for that to come through while still brightening the color of the mat. And then once I was finished with all of the surface paint, I took a black paint marker and just went and retraced all of the letters as well as all of the black outline around the outside of the mat. And then once the paint was dry, I took some polyurethane spray paint and just sprayed a coat on top to seal. To make the arrangement for the front door, I was going to use this Cascade Pods container. But then I remembered that I had purchased this Hobby Lobby bucket a few years ago, actually, at an end of season sale. And I said that would be perfect for what I want to do here. So I'm going to use this little container as well as a selection of different stems from the Dollar Tree. I have something called Spike, and then also some lilacs in white. And then I also use some of this black and white striped ribbon that I purchased from Michaels. First, I attached the ribbon to the little bucket, and I'm going to attach the one side and then kind of measure it out to see how high these stems come so that I know how long to cut the ribbon so that I can attach it on the other side. And then I just added some foam to the bottom of the bucket, and then I started adding the spike flower to the back, and I just did those lined up one right after the other. And after that, I'm going to fill in the front with the lilacs. So just put those spikes all along the back there, and now just adding the lilacs to the front. And that's it. Here it is with everything filled in and a bow at the top. Now I started putting the items back onto the porch. Now I'm going to first start with this flowers container. Now this planter was one of the planters that I did in the first planters video, which I will link in the description box below, so you can check that out if it's something that you're interested in seeing. And then I added the cat litter planter. I put this on a little upside down bucket in order to give it a little more height, and the black one that was shown earlier in the video is available in a previous DIY, so I'll link that as well. And then I added a lantern and a planter also from previous DIYs, which again I will link. And then I was thinking I wanted it to be higher. Like it just was, it wasn't like tall enough for the space or how I wanted to do it. So I decided I was going to go into my stash and get this shepherd's hook from the Dollar Tree, as well as this little water squirter from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm just going to be using the top pole of that water squirter. And so I'm going to remove that and then spray it with the black spray paint. And then here you can see I placed the shepherd's hook into the flower container, and then the pole, after it's been painted black, was attached with some zip ties to the shepherd's hook. And then I'm going to take another planter from a previous DIY and I'm going to place that on the hook. So it creates a nice little two-tier planter, and if you're interested in that circular planter, again, I will link that in the description box below. Next, I replaced the welcome mat, and you can see how nice and bright and shiny it looks now. And here for comparison, you can take a look at what it looks like now, and then this is what it looked like before. So you can see there is a real difference between the two. And then working up from the welcome mat, up the door, is the bucket wreath. I guess you can call it a bucket wreath, but I just have seen these around and I just thought it was so cute, I wanted to make one. And then we have the bench, which is nice and painted now, and also with this pillow from Walmart. I thought that was so cute. And then above it is this blank space. I didn't really know what I could do with it, and I came up with this idea. I found this Gorilla mounting tape, and I thought, aha, I think I can do something with that. And so I took these dollar store little acrylic glasses and I painted them with the hammered spray paint. Then what I did is I just took strips of that Gorilla tape, because it sticks to brick and stone and all kinds of things, and wanted to give this a try. And I thought, okay, I'll use those little greens, and voila. And it works. These little babies are staying up there. It's been a couple of days and they are still there. And it sits there nice above this bench and gives a nice little accent to that space. And then the basket hanger, it found itself a new home, and it got some new geraniums as well as a nice crisp American flag. And then here's another look at the two-tier flower container and the other flower containers, and the bucket wreath with its nice crisp black and white striped bow, and then the interesting Gorilla Glue wall hanging, as well as the bench with its pretty little comfy pillow. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this spring-summer porch makeover featuring some new as well as some previously published DIY, which you can find linked in the description box below. This porch makeover is part 2 of a 3-part makeover series. Part 1, which was a patio makeover, was already published, and I will again link below. And part 3 will be a deck makeover, which will be published shortly. And don't forget to check out Teresa's porch makeover, which I again will link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Fab Tax, where we're putting the extra and ordinary one DIY at a time.